want to reiterate that I fucking hate all of you. I don't love my daughter at all anymore. I don't care about her. The mere fact that I tried to get you to drop your frame and spend time with me and open up to me and cooperate and collaborate and work together so that we can accomplish things together, spend our time together having fun, or spend our time together making money or getting shit done.
Lately, I've been seeing multiple videos about a guy named Ian Foote as a newly discovered lolcow on the block. I've seen some people call him the Canadian Cyrax, and that's a pretty big claim to make.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
So let's take a look at this guy and see if he's someone even remotely worth paying attention to. We're going to Canada for this one, and we're just going to do a quick look at the guy due to the sheer plethora of videos this guy has. Also because of how, from what I've seen, his videos are just all over the place, and I haven't found a coherent timeline of events yet. So this video might end up being a little more disjointed and chaotic than how I usually structure these. Just FYI, but let's get into it. So Ian is a 49-year-old man that currently resides somewhere in Toronto, and he apparently hates Toronto and wants to live in the wilderness. He talks about how he doesn't like the society and hates people. Not gonna lie, that's a mood sometimes. But he also states that he once lived in another part of Canada called Halifax. I don't know shit about Canada, so I don't know if that's a good or bad area to live in. But according to him, he moved to Toronto to be closer to his estranged daughter. His relationship, or lack thereof, with his daughter it's complicated. You see, Ian is convinced that his daughter has been manipulated and gaslit into disliking him by the rest of the family, and that the rest of his family sort of poisoned the well against him.
I tried to rescue her because I know that she had her mind fucked with, that she was lied to and tormented by my fucking evil family. And I tried so fucking hard to connect with her. It's not my fault, it's not her fault. She was brainwashed and mind fucked and gaslit. But that doesn't change the fact that she still treats me with contempt.
He tried to reconnect with her multiple times, but it sounds like she doesn't want to see him. One odd thing he says is that he doesn't know what she looks like now, which is odd because he says in another video that he's followed her on Facebook.
My daughter will not communicate. I don't even know what she looks like. In January of 2020, I found her on Facebook. I managed to establish connection with her.
I also found a video titled, "I Do Not Love My Daughter."
And she pushed me away. She just pushed me away. And I stopped loving her. I did. I stopped loving her. Once it became a, why won't you talk to me? Why won't you talk to me? The love between us ended. The moment that it became me, like, I want you to communicate with me, but you won't. The love between us ended. And it ended permanently.
Now, to me, it sounds like he was trying to guilt trip her into letting him back into her life. That doesn't work. If you've burned a bridge with someone, the last thing you should try to do is guilt trip them into being around you again. And I'm speaking from personal experience. There's people who burnt bridges with me that tried to guilt trip me into being cool with them again. And that only made me go from disliking them to actively hating them. Now, we obviously don't know the full story between him and the daughter, but it doesn't sound like something that's going to be easily resolved, if it ever will be. Especially after he made a video titled "Disrespectful Little Bitch," which was directed at the daughter, where he says some pretty messed up stuff, like how he's disowning her.
But she treated me with contempt. And I have no choice. I have to disown her. I had no choice. I had to disown her. It's not my fault. It's not her fault. She was brainwashed and mind fucked and gaslit. But that doesn't change the fact that she still treats me with contempt. And I had no choice but to disown her. So, you want to know why your father doesn't love you anymore? Because you treat him with contempt. That's why your father doesn't love you anymore. Because you treat me with contempt.
Yeah, totally not burning that bridge, bro. I found another video titled My Daughter, and he comes out of the gate strong with this one.
I don't love my daughter at all anymore. I don't care about her. She's passive aggressive and contemptuous. Contemptuous, passive aggressive. I genuinely do not even have the capacity to care about her. Someone left a comment on one of my videos here. You're selfish, you don't care about your daughter or what she wants. My daughter will not communicate.
Yeah, man, I don't see why your daughter doesn't want to be around you. It's a total mystery. We might need to get Sherlock Holmes in on this shit. Now, he also talks about the mother screwing him over and not allowing him to be in the daughter's life, and to play devil's advocate for, like, just a little bit here, I've heard horror stories of men getting screwed over by paternity court, and the mother not allowing the father to be a part of the child's life, even though the father really wants to, and the father isn't like an abusive person or anything like that. And they'll just not allow the dad to even remotely interact with his kid, even if he's a genuinely good guy and just wants to see them. I've seen stories where the mother has blocked contact by doing pretty evil shit, like hiding birthday cards or gifts that the father sends to the kid and just never allowing the kid to see them or even know they exist, so the kid thinks the father doesn't care about them. Like, there's some crazy women out here that weaponize their kids against their ex-husbands and stuff, and or baby daddies or whatever, and it's messed up. I don't think this is one of those cases, though, at least not to the same degree, because Ian sounds like an unstable person. Not to play armchair psychologist here, but it wouldn't shock me if he has some kind of undiagnosed mental illness that's not being treated properly. So I don't think a kid being around him is a good idea, especially given his living conditions. It doesn't look like he'd be able to take care of a child and give them, like, you know, the best upbringing possible, or even a decent one. And I'm further reinforcing the idea that he probably shouldn't have custody of the kid because he made a video like this.
I don't care if you hurt her. Hurt her as much as you want. Fucking her and kill her and bury her body in the forest if you want to, I don't care. She had her little battle of wills with me. She won. I don't care if you kill her. If I read about it in the newspaper, I won't care. Do whatever the fuck you want to her. I don't care about her anymore.
Oh man, I can't imagine how I would feel if one of my parents had said something like this about me when I was a teenager. Especially not just saying it, but then saying it and posting it online for presumably thousands of people to see. I'd imagine I would never speak to them again and would no longer care what happened to them. I've seen and heard some pretty vile shit, but saying something like this about your own daughter? That's a special kind of fucked up. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag down the mood of the video like that, but especially not this early on. I usually try to ease you guys into the more fucked up shit. But let's just go to something relatively lighter than this. Back when he lived in Halifax, according to him, he lived in a trailer with his ex-wife. He has multiple ex-wives, by the way. We'll get to that. According to him, he has multiple ex-wives anyway. But living with your ex-wife definitely doesn't sound like a potential recipe for disaster. Ian also has two siblings, a brother and a sister, and he hates both of them, to the point where Ian claims his brother attacked him while they were helping him move to a new apartment. I'll play a clip of that here.
Respectful. I was in the middle of helping him move. For free, you know, I'm me and my old army team buddy, Dutch, the two of us went over to my brother's house, and we were helping him move his furniture to his new apartment. Just, you know, buddies helping each other out. And my brother, Mr. I'm going to be a doctor and go to med school, and now I'm superior to you. I spent my whole life thinking that you were superior to me, but now I'm superior to you. But he attacked me. And of course, I overpowered him, and I pinned him to the ground, and I could have started fucking pounding his face in. But I didn't want to. I just wanted to leave. I don't want to beat the shit out of my brother in the street. I wanted my brother to treat me with respect, since I'm good enough to help him move. And he fucking attacks me. And I still want to beat up my little brother. I want him to freeze like a statue so I can leave. So that's what I took my finger, and I put it in the corner of his eye. And I said, freeze like a statue, or I will tear out your eye. And he froze like a statue. I had no intention of tearing out his eye. I just wanted him to freeze like a statue so I could leave.
Somehow I doubt this happened the way he said it did. And the thing is, I'm not sure if he's deliberately telling a lie or if this is what he imagined happened and he's too far gone to distinguish reality from fiction. It could honestly be a mix of both for all I know. But Ian began to hate his brother even more because the brother chose to follow his dream and be a medical doctor instead of abandoning that and just getting a job.
And at this point, he had his master's degree. But he wasn't working. He still wasn't working. He still wasn't making money. He still was relying on charity and handouts and family support, yada, yada, yada. He has 2 kids. He's got a wife. And his wife wanted him to abandon this pursuit of education and get a job. You got a master's degree. You got a master's degree in science, specialized in biology. You are capable of going out and getting a job and entering the workforce and making good money with your master's degree. I'm your wife. These are your children. Please go work and support us. And they ended up getting divorced, and she left with his son because he didn't want to give up on becoming a medical doctor. He didn't want to give up on his dreams. He didn't want to go and get a job with his master's degree and support his wife and kids. And his wife left him and took his son away. And in that moment, lost all respect for my brother. That was the moment that I ceased to respect my brother.
I mean, if he goes through all the legwork to be a doctor, he'd presumably make even more money than he would if he didn't. But yeah, having 2 kids and not working would definitely put a strain on things for the wife. I'm assuming the wife was working and supporting them while he was, not working and doing the med school stuff. And I can definitely see that putting a strain on a relationship and everything. But I don't think this is a reason to lose respect for someone. Because like I said, in the long run, assuming he did go all the way through medical school and he got his what's it called? Is it a medical degree? You can tell I've never been in med school. If he went through all that legwork to become an actual doctor and everything, he would be making more money. But moving on, he claims his sister hates him because he told her how, in his eyes, the point of life is for people to pair up and have kids. And that he sees his sister as a dead end because she's childless and has already gone through menopause. So, not to be blunt, the train's left the station on her having biological kids, unless she froze an egg or something.
That as far as I'm concerned, the purpose of life is to find a member of the opposite sex, get married, stay loyal, care for each other selflessly, procreate, have children, love each other, love your children, nurture and support them until they become mature adults, and continue to support them until they manage to find a mate of the opposite sex, commit to each other, procreate, be loyal, care for each other selflessly, and perpetuate the cycle. And then someday, their reward will be that they're still with the person that they got married to when they were young, and they're surrounded by all their children and their grandchildren who they are still on positive relationships with. That's what it means to be successful in life. And in my pain, I wasn't like trying to attack her because I fucking hate her or anything like that. I was in pain. And I was expressing how I feel about the world and how I view the people around me and how I feel about myself. And she came to realize that I just see her as a dead stick on the tree of life. A childless, postmenopausal woman. With no children, no grandchildren. That's it. And she did not like that.
He's also admitted to hating women, hating Canada, the police, and Justin Trudeau. Okay, those last 3 things are kind of based. But he dislikes the LGBT community among a ton of other shit that I'm just not gonna get into here. Oh, and did I also mention he hates his parents? You know what, maybe it'd be faster to just list what he doesn't hate at this point. Ian has a YouTube channel, and unfortunately it seems like he's purged a lot of his videos. So there's a lot of stuff and probably context that make things make a lot more sense that are just lost to time. One thing that I find interesting about Ian is despite having a YouTube channel, he seems to outright hate his viewers.
I had a lot of guys give me nods, people giving me free coffee, people doing little things to be nice to me and to show respect for me and to help me out in little ways as I move through the community. I just want to reiterate that I fucking hate all of you.
Ian also says that his channel is basically him venting about how much he hates life and just how much he hates everything.
But the only reason this channel exists is because I'm in misery and pain and lonely and poor. And I'm completely fucking isolated, completely fucking emasculated. Nobody liked it that way. And I'll never have that again. And I hate all of you. I hate all of you. And I will never, ever feel anything but hatred ever again. I just want you to understand that I don't care about any of you anymore. That I genuinely have hatred in my heart for you. And the reason that I have hatred in my heart for you is because there's so many people out there that have opinions about me that are not based on a personal relationship. And I hate you. Just the fact that you know my name makes me hate you. And that will never change. I want that to be clear. That I do hate you. That I hate everybody. And I will never love anybody again. I will never respect anybody again. I will feel nothing but hatred for the rest of my life.
I just fucking hate this world and these human worms feasting on its carcass. My whole life is just cold, bitter hatred. And I always wanted to die.
I'm sorry, that's the wrong clip. I don't know how that got in here. Whoops. Predictably, Ian gets trolls, and he does the thing you shouldn't do if you think people are trolling you in your comment section. He would respond to these comments with like paragraph-long posts. He also somehow thinks that trolls have the ability to remove his comments from his own comment section.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Now, I do know YouTube automatically filters comments if they're deemed rude or they have certain words in them that YouTube just doesn't like. Or it'll try to hide them from the top comment view, so you have to switch to sort by newest, I think is what it's called, and that will show you those kind of comments. And the thing is, YouTube likes to default to top comments, so you might think your comment is censored when you just turn on new comments and it'll show it. I've seen it happening on my channel. I've seen people accuse me of deleting their comments when I don't, unless I think it's a bot. So what I think happened here is Ian can't see the replies because they're getting filtered automatically. In some of these videos, Ian claims he's this elite high-tier software engineer guy that has had high positions in companies, including Pfizer, despite his limb conditions and looking like a homeless man. Due to his claim to have so many jobs is ridiculous, and speaking of jobs, he has a LinkedIn which shows a lot of crazy jobs that he's claimed to have done, and I don't think half of these are true. But the problem here is, I'm sure you've surmised, based on what I've said and what I've shown so far, is Ian isn't the most trustworthy narrator. So I don't know if any of this stuff is even remotely true. But the thing that blew up Ian's channel was a video titled "You Framed Me," where he tells a story about a female bar owner that he may or may not have been stalking.
They called me a manipulator. They called me a manipulator. And they told people not to open up to me because I'd manipulate them. And then they called me a narcissist who only cares about himself. How am I supposed to fucking care about you when you fucking labeled me as a manipulator and you won't fucking drop your fucking frame? You play your fucking stupid little games, you hold your frame up, you make it impossible for me to know you. You try to fucking get inside my head so that you'll be in some fucking kind of a power position or some bullshit. I wanted to know what you thought. I wanted to know you. I wanted to connect to you. I wanted to have a personal relationship with you. I didn't want to fucking spy on you and research you and do background checks and ask all your friends who you are. I wanted to spend time with you. I wanted to get to know you. I asked questions. I tried to get you to open up to me. That's not what narcissists do. That's not what narcissists do. Scum, all of you. All the lies and all the slander. All the people framing, holding your frame. You framed me. You framed me. You went around talking shit about me behind my back. You made absolutely fucking certain that I would never be able to fucking defend myself. You framed me. You framed me. I was just sitting here and I'm like, I can't make you stop. People would like, literally, they'd rather let me beat the shit out of them than fucking tell me the truth. You framed me, you monsters. You fucking monsters.
Why does he sound like he's channeling Macho Man Randy Savage for a second here?
Framed me, you monsters. You fucking monsters. If I could just get one person to tell me the truth. Oh yeah.
Now, according to his family, he allegedly groomed this lady to be with him. I don't know what the hell is going on. This is crazy and hard to follow, to be brutally honest with you.
I'm not some fucking creep. Like, talking about how I groomed some vulnerable young woman. She wasn't 14 years old. She was 28 years old. 28-year-old woman. Has her own fucking place in the basement. Lives with her father. Has the support of a family that are actively interested in helping her to be successful in her business. And every single fucking time that I was with her, she always had at least one employee around. At least one. She was in her safe place, her business, with at least one employee there at all times. She had a supportive family. She had a safe place to fucking live. She was an entrepreneur. She wasn't some vulnerable fucking woman that I could groom. The idea that I could fucking groom this woman is fucking ridiculous. There was no fucking power imbalance with two fucking people.
He also said he planned on buying a $10K engagement ring for this woman. He also claims she is consistently calling the cops on him, but she's also the woman he's always wanted to be with. He mentions how he would always go to the bar whenever they immediately opened, and he would spend as much time around her as he could, just talking to her and stuff. And this is just speculation on my part. It seems to me like she just viewed him as a customer and was just being nice to him. You know, like a good customer service person is, like your waiter at whatever restaurant you frequent at, they're gonna be nice to you because they want that tip. Also because they don't want to get fired either or lose a customer. But I think Ian mistook them being nice to him as something more than that, like they genuinely had feelings towards him, when it was just, like I said, them just being nice. I guess he imagined that they were in a relationship. He also accused her of stalking him, despite her apparently being frightened by him. And he admits that there was a restraining order in effect at some point. I don't know if it's still active, probably is. Which all of this leads me to believe that he got too attached to a woman that didn't want anything to do with him and mistook being friendly as a bartender or something more, and it freaked her out. She asked him to leave her be, but he wasn't taking no for an answer, and this escalated to stalking, and so she got the restraining order, and despite that, he was still following her around. That's what I gather here. Maybe there's something I'm missing. If there is, someone will let me know in the comments. On top of having a failed relationship with this bartender lady, dude has apparently had 3 ex-wives. According to him, they were all terrible people, as 2 of them cheated on him. Not to be that guy, but whenever I see someone talk about how like every person they date is an asshole or a douchebag, you start to notice the common denominator is them. And that leads you to kind of wonder, are you doing something that's making these people behave in ways that make you think they're assholes towards you? Like, are you doing something to provoke that in them? Or are you just drawn to people who are assholes? And you're just bad at picking people who are going to be stable. Like, that's the kind of questions you should start asking when you're have that mindset. But I tried to watch a video of someone trying to make sense of the trinity of ex-wives here, but even they had to admit they don't fully know what the hell is going on, and I'm not even gonna begin to try and make sense of that. There ain't enough caffeine or booze in the world for that. But I heard that one of these women filed a restraining order against him. Ian claims that his family has also lied to police, claiming that he has schizophrenia. And from my limited understanding of schizophrenia, it wouldn't shock me if he does have some form of it.
When they talked about how I thought people were conspiring against me. And then my lawyer said, well, to be fair, Your Honor, they conducted an investigation and they discovered that both his father and his sister made blatantly false statements, that they lied to the police and told the police that Ian had schizophrenia. They told the police that he'd been diagnosed with schizophrenia when he was in Halifax. And they told the police that he'd been diagnosed with schizophrenia when he was in Vancouver. And people believe that, because why would they lie? And it took years for a proper investigation to be done. And when that investigation was carried out, it was conclusively determined that I wasn't diagnosed with schizophrenia in Halifax, that I wasn't diagnosed with schizophrenia in Vancouver, that I don't have schizophrenia, that these are blatant lies.
Because he's such an unreliable narrator, I would not be shocked if he's not telling the truth here and that he is schizophrenic and not getting the proper help for it. If that's the case, it's obviously very unfortunate, and I do hope that he does get some help, because clearly he's not in the best mental state right now. He also tells a story about how he got in trouble because his daughter went without breakfast for a single day, but I have a feeling something more twisted happened there. Last thing I'll say about Ian is he has this whole, I'm gonna call it a master plan, where he wants to move to Brazil to find a wife, have more kids, and have a house, and then try to make himself financially successful, and then somehow get his daughter back.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm gonna stop here for now. To me, Ian sounds like someone who's kind of a Lolcow, but I think he's teetering towards Horrorcow, especially as his mental state gets worse and worse over time. He desperately needs some kind of help, but I'm not sure if he would be all that receptive to it. As I said in the intro, he is a recent discovery as far as, the internet as a whole. So we'll have to see how this develops, especially as more and more people are starting to pay attention to him. There's a ton of other stuff I could bring up, like he has stolen valor accusations against him. He's had multiple stints in prison apparently, including one where he claims the cops threw him into solitary confinement for 2 months. I have a feeling more things will be uncovered as more and more people start paying attention to him and start digging into him. But I'm genuinely concerned where this is going to go because, like I said, he doesn't seem like he's in the best headspace right now. I have a feeling he's gonna get even crazier, and I doubt this is gonna end well unless he gets some psychiatric help. But let me know what you guys think of this dude in the comments, and I'll see you in a future video.